It was a beautiful summer day, and all the neighborhood kids were out playing in the park. But for some reason, 8-year-old Jack's parents couldn't seem to get him to leave the house. No matter what they said or did, he just wouldn't budge from his spot on the couch. But after much pleading and cajoling, Jack's parents finally sat next to him and asked him directly, "Jack, why don't you want to go outside and play with the other kids? Is something wrong?" Jack looked at his parents with big, worried eyes and said, "Can't go outside because I saw something scary out there." His parents were concerned and asked him to explain. Jack hesitated, unsure if he should tell them the truth. But finally he blurted out, "I saw a monster in the bushes by the park." His parents exchanged a worried look and asked him to describe the monster. Jack described a creature with long, sharp teeth and glowing red eyes. Realizing they had to take this seriously, Jack's parents decided to investigate. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. They watched the park together, with Jack clinging to his mother's hand. When they got to the spot where Jack had seen the monster, they searched the bushes but found nothing. But as they were about to give up, they noticed a small opening in the ground covered by a loose rock. They lifted the rock and peered inside, and to their surprise, they saw a pair of glowing red eyes staring back at them. At that moment, they realized the monster was actually a stray cat that had taken shelter in the hole. They called animal control, and the cat was safely captured and taken to a nearby shelter. After the excitement was over, Jack's parents sat him down and explained that sometimes our imagination can play tricks on us and make us see things that aren't really there. So Jack was relieved to know that there were no actual monsters in the world, and he felt grateful to his parents for believing him and helping him face his fear. From that day on, Jack was no longer afraid to go outside and explore the world around him. But things didn't end there. While cleaning the park after the cat incident, Jack's father discovered something unexpected. Among the weeds and fallen leaves, he found an old, carefully folded note. When he opened it, the message was written in an almost indecipherable script and filled with mysterious symbols. Jack's father felt a mix of curiosity and anxiety. Why was this note here? What did it mean? He decided not to tell Jack at first to avoid scaring him further. He took the note home and began trying to decode it. He spent nights reading old books and searching the internet to understand the symbols. After days of research and investigation, he discovered that the note contained instructions for conducting a strange ritual. It mentioned a specific spot in the park where the ritual needed to be performed at midnight on a certain night. Jack's father decided not to ignore the matter. On the specified night, he went to the park with a neighbor who knew something about ancient rituals and legends. The park was eerily quiet, and the only light came from the faint glow of the moon. They reached the spot mentioned in the note and began setting up for the ritual. As they started, a chilling wind blew through the park, and the temperature dropped suddenly. The symbols on the note began to glow faintly. Jack's father and his neighbor followed the instructions meticulously, performing each step as described. Just as they finished the final step of the ritual, the ground beneath them started to tremble. A hidden door slowly revealed itself, leading down into a dark tunnel. With flashlights in hand, they cautiously descended into the tunnel. The air was thick with dust, and the walls were covered in ancient markings. As they ventured deeper, they found a small, hidden chamber. Inside, there were remnants of what seemed to be an old, abandoned laboratory. Papers and books were scattered everywhere, and strange equipment lay covered in cobwebs. In the center of the room was a large, dusty book, bound in leather and locked with an intricate mechanism. Jack's father carefully approached the book, feeling a mix of excitement and apprehension. The pages were filled with detailed drawings and notes about strange experiments and creatures, including one that matched Jack's description of the monster. Realizing the significance of their discovery, they gathered as much information as they could and returned to the surface. And over the next few days, they studied the materials, uncovering a history of secret experiments conducted by a forgotten scientist who once lived in the area. The scientist had been trying to create new life forms, and some of his creations had apparently escaped into the wild. Jack's father decided it was time to tell his family about their findings. He sat down with Jack and his mother, explaining everything they had discovered. Jack listened in awe, his initial fear turning into fascination. His father assured him that the monsters were not supernatural but rather the results of misguided scientific experiments. Together, they decided to inform the local authorities and historians about their discovery. The hidden laboratory and its contents became a significant point of interest, drawing experts and curious visitors alike. With the truth uncovered, Jack felt a newfound sense of adventure. He realized that the world was full of mysteries waiting to be discovered, and not all of them were scary. His fear of going outside transformed into a desire to explore and learn. Jack's parents encouraged his curiosity, taking him on trips to museums, libraries, and nature reserves. They taught him how to approach the unknown with a rational mind and a brave heart. Years later, Jack grew up to become a scientist inspired by his childhood experiences. He dedicated his life to unraveling the mysteries of the natural world, always remembering the day he faced his fear and uncovered a hidden secret in his own backyard. His curvy the park, once just a simple place for children to play, became a symbol of the unknown and the adventures it held. Jack often visited the park, now with his own children, sharing with them the stories of his childhood and the incredible discovery he made. And the mysterious note, the hidden laboratory, and the lessons he learned stayed with him forever, reminding him that sometimes the things we fear the most can lead us to the greatest discoveries. And so, the story of Jack and the Monster in the park became a cherished family legend, passed down through generations, inspiring curiosity and bravery in all who heard it. As Jack's father delved deeper into the materials from the hidden laboratory, he realized there were more layers to the story. The scientist, Dr. Elric, was not merely conducting experiments, he was part of a clandestine group dedicated to uncovering ancient secrets and pushing the boundaries of science. The group's symbol, an intricate intertwining of a serpent and an owl, was present on many of the documents and equipment. Jack's father, now engrossed in this new mystery, decided to follow the breadcrumbs left by Dr. Elric. He traveled to old libraries, contacted historians, and even visited other sites mentioned in the documents. His research took him to abandoned buildings, forgotten archives, and remote locations. Each discovery added a piece to the puzzle, revealing a network of scientists who had been working in secrecy for decades. This clandestine group, known as the Society of the Serpent and the Owl, believed that the boundaries of human knowledge could only be expanded by exploring forbidden and dangerous areas of science. They conducted experiments that were considered unethical and perilous, often with disastrous results. Dr. Elric's work on creating new life forms was just one of many projects undertaken by the Society. Jack's father found that the Society's influence extended far beyond their small town. They had chapters in major cities and had accumulated a wealth of knowledge and artifacts from their explorations. This discovery added a layer of danger to his research, as he realized that there were powerful individuals who might not appreciate their secrets being uncovered. As Jack's father pieced together the history of the Society, he began to notice strange occurrences around his home. Unmarked cars parked nearby, unfamiliar faces appearing in the neighborhood, and odd phone calls that ended abruptly. It became clear that his investigation had attracted the attention of those who wanted the Society's secrets to remain hidden. One evening, after returning from another research trip, Jack's father found his study ransacked. The documents and artifacts he had collected were gone, and a single note was left behind: "Stop digging, or there will be consequences." Determined not to be intimidated, Jack's father decided to rally support. He reached out to other researchers and historians who had shown an interest in the Society. Together, they formed a coalition dedicated to exposing the truth. They shared information, protected each other, and worked together to uncover more about the Society and its activities. This coalition discovered that the Society was planning a new experiment, one that could have catastrophic consequences. They needed to act quickly to prevent it. The coalition's research led them to an old, abandoned mansion on the outskirts of town. This mansion had once belonged to a prominent member of the Society and was now the site of their latest experiment. Jack's father and his allies decided to confront the Society and stop the experiment. On a stormy night, they approached the mansion, armed with their knowledge and determination. The mansion was shrouded in darkness, its windows broken and its walls covered in ivy. They could hear strange noises coming from within, the sounds of machinery and unearthly growls. Inside, they found members of the Society conducting their experiment. The leader, a tall man with piercing eyes, was in the midst of chanting an incantation. The room was filled with bizarre equipment and cages holding strange, mutated creatures. A tense confrontation ensued. Jack's father and his allies revealed the Society's secrets and demanded they stop the experiment. The Society members were defiant, believing that their work was for the greater good. But the coalition was prepared. They had gathered evidence, informed the authorities, and were ready to expose the Society to the world. With the arrival of the authorities, the Society's experiment was halted. The mansion was searched and the evidence was collected. The media got wind of the story, and soon, the Society of the Serpent and the Owl was front-page news. The hidden history of their experiments, their unethical practices, and their dangerous pursuits were all brought to light. Jack's father became a local hero, celebrated for his bravery and determination. The hidden laboratory in the park was preserved as a historical site, a reminder of the dangers of unchecked scientific ambition. The story of Jack and his family's discovery became a powerful tale of courage and curiosity. Jack, inspired by his father's bravery, continued to pursue his interest in science, always mindful of the ethical implications of his work. He grew up to be a respected scientist, known for his dedication to uncovering the truth and protecting the world from dangerous knowledge. The park, once a place of fear for Jack, became a symbol of adventure and discovery. It was a place where children could play and learn, where families could explore the wonders of nature and history. And the story of the monster in the park was passed down through generations, inspiring new explorers and reminding everyone that sometimes the things we fear the most can lead to the greatest discoveries.